Let's look at how we use APA in-text references. By an in-text reference, I mean the thing inside of parentheses inside a sentence. Basically, what we're trying to do is when any time that we're writing and we've got an idea from someplace else, we need to indicate where that idea came from. Otherwise, it's plagiarism. And it adds a lot of credibility to our writing too when we show that other people are making more complete arguments for what we're just summarizing in a sentence. And the basic idea in APA styled in-text references is that we want to indicate who the author is and what year it was published so that they can go to the reference page at the end of the journal article or the end of our report or our paper and find out exactly what article this came from. And so generally, the reference is going to include the person's last name and the date, the year. So I've got a silly paragraph here, and it says psychosocial treatments may be very effective. I don't know what that sentence is talking about, but I've got the quote, Abel 2000. So I've got the author's name or the in-text reference, Abel, comma, space 2000 in parentheses. And that means in the references page, there's some article written by Abel in the year 2000. So that's the bread and butter reference. The next one we have, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 2007, the need for actors is not likely to grow. So here we've got the author, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and since I've already mentioned the author, which in this case is an organization, I don't need to put the author in the parentheses. I just need to put the date because we've already got the author. So that's why we've got 2007. Now, if I didn't have Bureau of Labor Statistics in the sentence, I would have had to put open parentheses, Bureau of Labor Statistics, comma, space 2007, close parentheses, like this first one. When the author is an organization, we treat it just like an individual. Now, the one exception to this rule of author and date is when we've got a direct quote or a reference to a table or a reference to a specific page, then we need to put in the page number. So here we have Dougherty, 2006, page 27, claims we must be more responsible. And so here I've got a quote, we must be more responsible, that comes from, this is what Dougherty said. So the author's name is in the main text, so it doesn't need to be in the parentheses. So I have to put the date, but I also have to put the page number because it's a direct quote where it comes from. Whenever you've got a direct quote, you've got to have the page number for it. He later adds, we can't keep making the same mistakes over and over. Now here, I just put the page number because we know that this is Dougherty 2006 from the context. I don't need to repeat Dougherty 2006 because from the context, it's obviously it's the same person in the same work, but it's on page 36. So I just put page 36. So those are some of the variety of the ways that we do things. Now, here are some of the forms that these in-text citations can have. When there's just one author, we would say Abel 2000 or Bureau of Labor Statistics, comma, space 2007. If we have a quote or a reference to a table, we would do Dougherty 2006, page 27. If we have something that has no date to it, like lecture notes, we would just do Ehresmann, comma, no date. ND stands for no date. And if we have the author's name, we just need to put the date after it. Trankina, 1973, claimed such and such. Now, if we've got two authors, we put both authors' names, Smith and Jones, with an ampersand. This little abbreviation for E in the US keyboard that's on the Shift 7. You don't write out and, you always use the ampersand, comma 2020. Now, if we said in the text Smith and Jones, we would write out the word and. But in parentheses, we can use this is actually a Latin abbreviation. It kind of looks like the letters ET written on top of each other, and that's Latin for et, meaning and. So we can only use these Latin abbreviations in parentheses. Now, if we have 3 or more authors, and this is new in APA formatting for the 7th edition, you always write out Smith et al. You don't write Smith and Jones and Peters, or Smith, Jones, and Peterson, or Smith, Jones, Peterson, Marcella, Perez, Dupont, and Thingamabobby. You don't write out a long list of names. You just start right away with Smith et al., and then you put the complete list of names in the table of references. So it goes Smith et al. Period, comma, space, and then the year. Now we can also say Smith et al. In the text, and we wouldn't have a comma after it. We would say Smith et al. Said, or Smith and colleagues said, and then have the 220 in parentheses. So these are some of the in-text references used in APA formatting.